Yeah, it's
cool.
only good.
Yep. Everybody here, everybody.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to your podcast, Mind the Time. I am joined, as always, of course, by my friends Brandy Mahan.
Hello, everybody.
And Sean Carey.
Hello.
What is happening, lads? What's the crack?
Oh, quiet, eh?
Quiet.
Not a while, lot since the last time I spoke to you.
Because we only recorded
15 seconds ago. But, all good, hey? All good, living the dream.
Well, do you know what? It's good to see you.
Hey, great, even better to see you, big fella.
Love it.
Thank you, Fenton.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
I'm giving you your thanks at the start of the podcast this week.
Let's not wrap there started now. You know,
it is right. It is right to give me thanks and praise. So this is Mind the Time podcast, and we have a very special guest. We have, of course, Mr. Luke Blakeley. We have a street performer, circus performer, musician, and general fucking legend of a person.
Yes.
That's me.
Welcome, Luke. Whoa.
Hello, glad to be here.
Welcome.
What is the crack, my friend?
Oh, good, yeah.
So you were teaching a wee bit of circus tonight before you got here?
I was teaching circus, all week, really. Well, just for the past 10 years, every day, you know.
Since 1991.
Yeah, since 1991, it's a long career of just circus. That's
nice. So you're teaching circus, of course, for the wonderful In Your Space Circus.
In Your Space Circus.
Shout out to In Your Space.
That's it. Woo. In Your Space.
When you say teaching circus, what kind of things are you teaching people?
So we do all sorts. We do like juggling, unicycles, tight wire walking, stilt walking, diablos, flower sticks, concert juggling, the whole circus.
Cool.
Bracket, acrobatics.
Wow.
The whole shebang.
That's very impressive, and I've been lucky enough to see you in action, and it's even more impressive to see.
Oh, I've seen you as well.
I'd say most people in Derry would actually know you, Luke, from being.
Well, I was actually, me and you have never met, but when Fenton, I asked, I was able to guess who you were when he said you were performing along with Sorka. I was like, I think I've seen that guy. I think I know exactly who you're on about. I was like, does he ever be up on the town and like Halloween on a unicycle? Fenton was like, yep, that's him. I was like, yeah, I do know who it is.
That's how most people know me.
I didn't recognise you without the unicycle. Do you know what I mean?
The one-wheel bike, sir. One-wheel bike.
Where's your roller wheel? Do a wheelie.
Oh, yeah, very funny.
Do a wheelie.
Because Sean, you were the same. You'd said you knew Luke from going through town.
The first time I seen you was I was just like chilling at the Guildhall, and it was like a lovely day, and you just cycled past on your unicycle playing a guitar, and I was like,
what an introduction.
We need more of that shit there.
We need more of that.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That is a guy.
There's about 2 years that I kind of lived on it, you know what I mean? And I didn't have a car, and I didn't have a bicycle, so I was like, unicycling. I did it the first time. I was a bit like nervous on it. I was like, oh my god, everyone's gonna be looking at me. I'm gonna be going through the town on a unicycle. But then as soon as I did it, and I was like, actually, this is all right. This is not too bad. And most people are looking at you and go like, yo, yes, boy, great. You know. So it just cheered a lot.
Because it lifts people, and it cheers them up. It's something different that you don't see every day. And
did you just use it as a point of like going from like point A to point B, just like going to the shop in your unicycle?
Absolutely.
And coming back with a bag of groceries.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, 2 bags where you balance it. So you put half your shopping.
Juggling your bottle of Ferry and your
with a loaf of bread on my head. One time I was spotted, but and then you see everyone, like, you know, everyone's face lights up, and you think, God, everyone in this town's really sound. Look at how happy everyone is in this town.
That's a good one.
Everyone's buzzing.
Did you have to go to university to learn unicycle?
Jokes.
That was fucking good.
That was good, Sean. Yeah. And everybody got it.
Yeah. The first one this year.
Yeah. Sometimes Sean's joke over heads.
That's all part of the fun.
Round them. Fucking down the band.
We're catching them now, Sean. We're learning.
Yes.
We're learning. So look, In Your Space Circus, of course. 1991 is the year you've chosen.
That is the year I've chosen, yep. He's like, you gave us a list of all the years that hadn't been chosen, and then I kind of like just closed my eyes and I went, boom, 1991. And then when I looked into it, it was actually a phenomenal year.
It is amazing when you look into a year, isn't it? You're like,
I looked out on this
nothing
one.
Discernible sticks out, and then you look into it and it's like, holy shit, the amount of stuff that happened there.
I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so in 1991, look, what age were you?
I was 9.
You were 9 years old, and you were living in Manchester.
Living in Manchester, yeah.
Nice.
Dream. So, and then, I looked into it, but what a year for just like music and films. And, you know, when I just kind of started to scratch the surface on 1991, and I think back of like my childhood and I think, right, what about that? What year was that? And I was like, boom, 1991, 1991. It just kept coming back. So,
and especially with Manchester being the heart of that scene.
All right, enough the whole Manchester thing and all. And,
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just pre-Oasis, I think.
Yeah.
So Oasis had done their first gig in 1991.
Right,
And it was
there
on
you
the
go.
boardwalk.
Right, is that where they got spotted?
They done a few gigs on the
No.
boardwalk and then they get spotted.
King Tut's
King Tut's
in Glasgow. I
in
think.
Glasgow, yeah, but they had done their first gig in 1991.
Because I think late 80s you would have had, and early 90s you would have had like the likes of the Happy Mondays and Stone Roses and all, they were all going.
Yeah,
And it was the kind of coming after like the Smurfs and all that kind of sound too. Do you know what I mean?
That was me as a 9-year-old in the Hacienda.
So as a 9-year-old, you would have been in what, primary 6, or is it even primary 6 in England?
It would have been, I would have been 4th year juniors. I think that's what we would have called it.
Aye.
So I don't know what that translates. Yeah, primary 6, I think it would have been.
And would circus performing or anything, would that been a thing with you then, or was that later?
No, that was a later thing.
So what was 9-year-old Luke into?
Just I don't know. Well, it was like kind of. I was big into WWF wrestling.
Yes.
I think at that time, you know, and like
SummerSlam 91.
SummerSlam 91. Yeah, and that was the one where Macho Man Randy Savage got married in the ring
To Miss Elizabeth.
to Miss Elizabeth.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, and I think it was the golden years of wrestling. You know, that wee period there. You had all the Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Big Boss Man, the Legion of Doom.
Oh, what a time.
Bushwhackers. You know, it was just all the big names. Andre the Giant was still in it, The Undertaker, and so wrestling was a big thing. And
Did you ever get to see it live?
I never got to see it live. No.
We'll have to change that sometime, Luke.
Yeah.
We'll have to get there a wrestling match.
Hey.
Or we could just wrestle now.
Or whatever. I don't think it would make for too interesting of listening.
Hang on, that wasn't in the small print.
Yeah.
It would just end up.
Just people going, suplex, DDT, off a top rope. So you were in Manchester, and you were, of course, living with your folks and going to school, and your mates around you. And did you ever play wrestling?
Yeah, all the time. You know, that was the big thing. And like, you know, you would get hurt as well because your kids don't know that it's supposed to be fake and you're supposed to go easy. And I remember a boy got me in, what was it? It was like a sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter, yeah.
And I remember like he went for it, you know what I mean? He was like 2 years older than me in school, and I'm only wee, you know what I mean? And then he just got me in this sharpshooter, and he was like, here we go, leg round here, leg round there, and he got me back, and I was like,
Tap out.
You're tapping for about 5 minutes before they take it on.
Yeah, where's the ref? Where's the ref?
So you came. When did you come to Ireland?
I came 2009, so I think it's been 14 years I've been here.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Haven't lost the accent?
No.
You have to hold on to that.
Hey, holding on.
Hey.
Hey, hold on, hey.
You know what I mean? Hey.
Hold on, hey. What sort of things were happening in 1991? How do we look through? A lot of mad shit goes on in the world every year. It seems. So the US began Operation Desert Storm.
Oh
yeah.
Do you remember that? I remember watching the news as a kid with my family, and so the US had just went on Operation Desert Storm, and the Kuwait, Saddam Hussein had went in from Iraq into Kuwait, and they were like, get the fuck out of there, and the Americans come in, and it was all, I think they were running out in like 6 weeks or something mad.
Yeah, as a 9-year-old, I felt very like, you know, I was politically active at that time. I was like, what is going on with the world? And I was out marching and all. You know.
Yeah, you were going, fuck Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
The prick.
Making a big speech in the middle of Piccadilly Gardens.
So that was Operation Desert Storm. There was actually there was a friend of mine from Claudia, Ron, and his brother-in-law was American, and he was sent over. And I remember it being such a big thing. He come back in his uniform and that, and we just fucking idolized him.
Right, he was sent over.
He was a paramedic, and I'm not sure how it worked. I have to be honest.
It wasn't like conscription. It was just I'm going to go.
Well, I think he had been part of the army, and then when time of war, then everybody's drafted.
You're called on, right?
Yeah, but it was very exciting in Claudia to have somebody who was part of Desert Storm there. Yeah,
fucking Claudia's G.I. Joe.
Claudia's G.I. Joe. So the first ever website was created in 1991.
Yeah.
First ever website.
www.computer.com.
info.cern.ch.
Right.
I don't even know what it was.
I don't think we need to.
No, I don't think we need to know it all.
I'm not too concerned.
Hey, Sean, you're fucking flying now, man.
Ooh.
I'm just waiting for them.
Just get that boy warmed up and he's away. Like.
That's all I'm here for.
Yeah. So what sort of TV programs were on around that time other than wrestling?
There was Home Improvement was on.
Home Improvement. Was that way?
Tim Allen. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of, what am I thinking of? We like Ed O'Neill, Married with Children.
Married with Children.
No. I think that was before. That was
would have been before it.
Like late 80s kind of maybe?
Aye, it would.
maybe.
Okay.
It was the boy who, the neighbour used to
I peek
pop
over the fence, that's
and
right.
You never really saw his face. That was
Al?
like a really... Al was the guy we worked with, I think.
That's right.
So I remember that, the Home Improvement, and what else?
Pamela Anderson was on it too.
Was she?
She was.
Big Pammy.
I was a big Pamela Anderson fan in 1991, I could tell you.
You and a lot
She
of
was a
other
big name.
young boys.
Yeah.
She was a big name in the early 90s, wasn't
Big
she?
name. That's right. I actually got in trouble for, do you know when you had to back your books at school? Like, and people like wallpaper and stuff, and I thought I'd be a wee renegade. And for my books, I just did posters of Pamela Anderson after that, and didn't go too well in RE.
Very distracting.
Very distracting indeed. So that's how I failed school.
Yeah, what else was on there? Bottom was out.
Bottom had just started in 1991.
Yeah, that was, you know, after the young ones, they did the young ones, didn't they?
Rick Meal
Yeah.
and Edmondson. What do you call him?
Yes.
Is it Edmondson?
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah.
Ed
I think it is.
Edmondson.
Aye, could be.
Yeah.
But I bought him. That was a fucking great show. Like.
Yeah.
And their stage shows as well was. I've only seen them on like YouTube and stuff, but their stage shows were unreal. They went on for hours and
Aye. So energetic.
a lot energetic and a lot of improvising and stuff in it. And yeah,
I must confess I'm not too familiar with that. Or
Check it out,
familiar
Benny.
at all.
I'm sure you would enjoy it.
Slapstick, one of they used to hit each other over the head
Aye.
with frying pans and all kinds of nonsense.
Sold.
Yeah.
So you're on.
And
The
then
Simpsons must have been rife back then too. Sorry, I just jumped on that. But
Simpsons, yeah. But was that late 80s Simpsons?
It was late 80s.
So
it was just finding its feet, I think.
yeah.
it was 1991. The song "Do the Bartman" come out.
Right.
Do the Bartman.
Do the Bartman. Yeah, I was a big fan of the Simpsons then as well. Anything to do with the Simpsons, I was on it. Yeah. Another one.
Fresh Prince as well was.
Oh,
Fresh
love Fresh
Prince
Prince
as
I
too.
think that was 1990 it came out, but in 1991 it was starting.
about
to
at
find
its
it,
peak.
yeah.
As early as that, really? There you go.
What was the song again? Him and Jazzy Jeff.
Summertime.
Summertime.
Yeah.
That was 1991 as well.
Summertime.
I thought you was going to say in West
West
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
What was the theme tune for that? again? Everyone always
Oh, you know
forgets.
that. Oh, you know that. Jesus. I can
Rolls
still
off.
rap every word of it. I haven't seen it in years. Great show, that, but it was really funny, but it was always one of them comedies that was able to sort of hit you in the feels every so often. You know what I mean?
yeah.
A couple of these serious moments, and you're like, holy fuck.
And they took on a couple of political things and the race
the
thing
whole
and
race
all,
thing and
yeah, it
like
was
the
brilliant.
absent Fowler, Will Smith and stuff like that there. And good shit.
Yeah,
Good shit.
could be
Yeah.
very emotional.
The Curtin boy could have queer dance too.
And then Jerry
Could.
Springer was
Ah.
last year. Right, yeah.
Jerry was a big part of it, just the our last podcast there too, actually.
Yeah,
Jerry,
so that was
Jerry.
out then.
Yeah, 1991 was Jerry Springer. That's when he started this show.
God.
Yeah, I hope I'm never on a show like that. I know times are tough.
Hey, you never know.
You never know.
Maybe in like 10 years' time, like looking back at the fallout of this podcast, it'll be like me on one side and you on the other.
10 years in this year.
Well, maybe.
But most of that I've got off Google searching what was on 1991.
We're all Google.
One thing I do remember from 1991 was Noel's house party was on.
Oh,
Mr. Blobby.
Mr.
Blobby.
He
Blah,
was
blah, blah, blah,
massive,
blah, blah.
yeah,
The man himself.
yeah, the man himself.
That was
And
such a
every-
huge show at the time.
yeah,
Like
every Saturday evening it was like, family dinner, boom,
Yeah.
Noel's
Yeah.
house party was on.
Saturday night TV was different then, wasn't it? It was like, suppose you only had a few channels.
That was
and-
back in the days when the whole everyone used to gather. They watch something together because, as you say, it's not everyone now is like up in the room watching Netflix or watching whatever they want to watch in all these different places. But it was like everyone, the whole family was in watching whatever was on. And you used to be away and be like, "Oh, turn it over," and I watch something.
yeah.
And I'd be like, "No, we're watching fucking Noel's house party."
yeah,
Shush.
blind date.
Blind date. I was silly.
Loved about a blind date. Me and Sarka actually watched that recently. It still holds up. It's brilliant.
Oh, I'm sure it's good crack, eh?
Yeah.
It was just a way to embarrass the fucking contestants as much as possible, really, wasn't it?
yeah.
The boys waiting, like, do you know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's what do you call him with a quick reminder?
Graham was.
Here's Graham with a
Here's
quick reminder. Graham.
Well, one thing I did notice about the 90s TV shows was there was a lot of gunge. Gunge was a big thing.
yeah.
You know, it was
Covering people in,
people in gunge, and every week they would drop someone in the gunge. They would cover him in gunge.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know what that was with the early 90s and gunge. Like,
Again, it was all about humiliation. Just get somebody on and humiliate the life out of them.
They
Great
probably
crack.
mistook the grunge scene. What's young people on now? Grunge? Glunge?
Gunge, okay.
Let's glunge everybody then.
They were expecting Pearl Jam to come play a live show, but it was just a boy getting covered in slime.
in jam.
Jam.
I think that was the toys were the same. Toys had a lot of gunge.
Yeah,
There was toys and you got gunge with it. Because I remember my older brother got the Ghostbusters Firehouse for Christmas, and it said on the package, no, comes with like a tub of gunge, and it wasn't in the box.
Oh.
And my mum was like, no, it didn't come with gunge.
Your mum
She
was like,
fucking had it.
Fired it in the bun.
She was like, that ain't getting on my fucking floors. Because it was usually poured down through the middle of the firehouse. But it was like, no chance.
No, it's
No chance
everywhere.
of getting that, like.
No.
Well, gunge came back, didn't it? Slime, they called it in the I don't know, maybe the last 5-6 years.
Oh, my wee boy was playing with slime today before I come over here. I got slime. I got slime. I was like, happy days.
Does your son have any poo things? Like,
Just poo.
like in the last couple
The
of
real
years,
stuff?
like my friend and I, we always like send each other a picture when we find poo related items, and I mean like board games, squidgy toys, everything.
Well, there's a wee.
lot
It's
of
not
poo.
actually his, but we actually have like a wee. Basically, you know that like poo emoji you see in phones. We have like
yeah.
a wee teddy bear magnet version of that in our fridge. I don't know where it came from, but it's there.
Always appetizing to have
Oh,
on the fridge.
it's just like you see it and you're going poo. I'm hungry.
Or is that a dieting trick?
Maybe.
It's just, we'll put poo in the fridge and you won't want to eat anything.
Oh God.
Worked for me.
Works for me. So 9-year-old Luco at school. Well, what were you like at school? Were you like, because I know you as someone who just loves to learn and learn new things and that. What when you were at school? Were you?
No, school. I didn't really get well with school. Like, you know, I don't think anyone really kind of fit in with school.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was after school when I started learning different things. But at school, I hated school. You know,
What was your school like? Would it have been a big school?
it was a relatively big school. Yeah, comprehensive school. So it was a mixed school, and then we did infants, juniors, and then senior school. But they were all they were like a 5-minute walk from my house, so I could like always go home back, and you know, it wasn't too much of a big ordeal for me. But then like I remember one time I went when I went to senior school. This would have been, I don't know, 1992. I think I started senior school, and then I made friends with a lad from Royton, which was the next town. He had to get the school bus into school and back, and he was like, I said, "Oh, Mum, can I go to my mates for tea?" She said, yeah, no worries. For dinner, or as you'd call it. And then, so then I remember getting on the school bus. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. And like just like 500 kids packed on the school bus, like, you know, and it was just I thought I was going to die. I literally thought, 'cause people were running up and down the stairs as the buses kind of moving and braking, and
if you're not used to that sort of thing,
I was not prepared for
fish out of water.
the
Just
school bus was just like I was like, I'm glad I live so close to school, you know.
yeah.
But yeah.
Any favorite subjects or just none? You just didn't.
Yeah,
like
no, I didn't like anything.
Yeah, no, I was the same.
Didn't like anything in school.
Yeah,
You know.
I always just felt locked up.
Yeah. Looking at pictures of Pamela Anderson on the back.
That's the only thing that kept me going.
Kept what going.
I was like the Shawshank Redemption. Remember the poster right up over the. I was tunneling out behind Pamela Anderson. sorry, Graham.
Just on that, just while you're mentioning it, nothing to do with the year, but you know what, I read something recently and it pure ruined that for me. How did your man get the poster back up on the wall after he dug the tunnel?
Yeah, I read that recently too.
Thanks for ruining the childhood film.
See, I was
We
sort of
just,
thinking he had the top two
ones, buttons,
stuck.
Yeah.
and then it's like a flap.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit of gum or something. Or a wee bit of gunge.
Gunge.
A bit of gunge.
Just a wee bit of gunge. There's a lot of gunge going around that time.
Thanks for that, Noel.
Other things that was happening. So the first appearance of Alan Partridge happened in
Oh,
1991.
right. Okay.
Very good.
I think we're all fans of.
Cock.
Ha ha! So that was in the
Knowing me,
BBC
knowing
radio.
you.
Knowing me, knowing you. Ha ha! That was.
Just an R one for good measure.
You can't have too many. Ha ha!
Oh,
That was the first appearance. That was in BBC Radio 4 show on the hour. Super Nintendo was released that year. Were you into gaming at all?
Oh, great console too.
I would have been a Super Nintendo fan, yeah.
You were a Super Nintendoer?
Yeah, that was me. So I got Super Mario World and Street Fighter 2.
Oh, Street Fighter. God.
Christmas one year.
What a game.
Yeah, brilliant. And that was me. I remember actually wagging it off school just so I could play my Super Nintendo.
Oh, wow.
I'm too sick to go. Just go. And then
What about bunking off school? Was that did you ever bunk off school and like just go about the town or anything? Or
no, well, we wanted to live near a town. It was just like between my house and school was just a field. So, we would kind of...
It's hard to hide in a field.
It's hard to hide in a field, it is, yeah. So we would have been too far away from... we would have gone into the park and you would have gone into the field, and it was quite a quiet area where I grew up in. Do you know what I mean? I was in Manchester, but we were in Greater Manchester, so it wasn't like overly busy. But yeah, if I ever was off school... When I was younger, I used to go to my granddad's, and my mum used to have to drive me to my granddad's. But my granddad was cool because he would like take us to the market, and we'd go around and there'd be all these like VHSs on. We'd go like, oh, can I get a video, Granddad? And he'd be like, yeah, get whatever you want. I was like looking at all these ones. There was like 18 certificate. I was like, oh yeah, the whatever it was, Ninja or something. So I was like, can I get this, Granddad? He was like, yeah, I'll get that. And then just go and watching these films and just be like, take me back to school, Mom.
I never said I watched that. Take me back to Street Fighter 2. I saw the Super Nintendo. Just every time I hear Super Nintendo, I always think of the Simpsons we were talking about too. Super Nintendo Chalmers.
That's right. Superintendent.
Superintendent.
Superintendent, right? Yeah.
Ralph called him Super Nintendo
Chalmers.
So anytime I hear it, I always think of that.
Yeah, no. Well, I got the SNES Mini was released. What was it? 5 or 6 years ago. The mini consoles, and they had like 20 games in it. So I got that, and that was brilliant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have they like touched up the graphics any, or is it still it stays authentic to what it was?
Still authentic to what it was, yeah. But it was a total nostalgia hit.
Oh, big time.
But you don't get to blow the game. You don't get to blow in the battle.
Yeah. That was the same with VHS as well. And then if you was clever, you'd take your screws out and then like clean the heads.
The heads, the alcohol.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was an actual VHS tape that you got to clean your inside of your? You actually put this tape on and
you
played it, and it's supposed to have like play.
Yeah. It's like rubbing alcohol. So I've still got them.
You drink it?
Yeah. Like we shat.
There'd be the ones for the CDs as well, and it'd be a CD disc with a little brush on it, and it would go around. And
that's right.
Like kind of.
I always remember
clean the laser.
Going to video shops, the likes of like Extravision and Take Two and stuff was in Derry back. I mean, you used to rent out a video, and I remember like certain videos, because you see obviously the covers are right here and you're looking at the cover, but the video wasn't actually in it. You have to get the video from back there, and I used to look sometimes and see that there'd be like an orange cassette, an orange video here, or like a blue video. I used to go up to the boy and be like, what videos are blue? I want a blue video. And he'd be like, this film. And I'd be like, no, you don't like them films, Brad. And I'd be like, but it's blue, I want the blue tape. You know what I mean? You end up renting something like trying to rent The Exorcist or something when you're like 5, just to be, it's a blue video tape.
Top shelf.
Hey, nothing but the best.
Nothing but the best for Brandy.
You know.
What kind of video gamer were you? Like, would you get obsessed with it and just like?
Yeah, well, I completed that Super Mario World, and I got really into that. And I can remember actually wagging it off school to do that. You know what I mean?
And there was no memory in them then? You had to...
No, there was, yeah. On the Super Nintendo, yeah, you could save your game.
You were able to start off where you finished?
Yeah, and then if you get your save points, I can remember you did that. And then there was like the whole, what was it, Super Mario Star Land, which were these hidden levels, and I was all into that. Kind of like, hidden levels, you know. And then Mario Kart, I was a big fan of Mario Kart.
Still an absolute classic.
Great game.
Unbelievable.
Was that
I still loved playing that in the bowling alley.
The Mario Kart.
Was that the first appearance of Mario Kart?
Yeah, on the Super Nintendo, I think it was, yeah. And then I actually played with this SNES Mini. I played a friend of mine, and James.
Aye.
And he's a big gamer. He's all into his gaming. And I says, come round to my house for a retro gaming night. And he's fucking brilliant at all video games except the Mario Kart. And I played him at Mario because he's used to like Super Mario Kart 3D or whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. Then he can beat you at any game. And then I was like, beat him at Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And then retired as champion. And it was a bit like, in fact, the same year, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey was released. In 1991. And you know where they challenge death to a contest.
That's right.
They play them at like battleships and Twister and all this.
We had. I don't think I ever completed a video game
No.
in my life.
That's what's always held you back all these years.
That's what it was.
You know what I mean?
I just, I was the sort of person who would play with it for an hour or two, and then that was it. I was bored.
I did it once, and I came close once. So the one I completed was Siphon Filter. Remember that? And then the one I came close to was like in the final body, and I just couldn't get past it. But I was all, fuck, I got far enough. It was
That'll do.
what do you call it? Solid Snake. What do you call it? Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Solid Snake.
I completed the Star Wars game for the Super Nintendo. The first Star Wars. I remember playing the Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi, but I remember completing the first Star Wars game for the Super Nintendo, and that was a brilliant game. And I was hoping it was going to be on that SNES Mini, but apparently because they don't own the
Star Wars, right? I don't remember a Star Wars game. That sounds class.
You know, no, it was really good. And you went on the sand crawler, you know, with the Jawas, and you went through the desert and the wee sand speeder shooting. What is it? Womp rats. In my T16 back so yeah, and you have a lightsaber battles and get into the Death Star and everything, and you do the go through the Death Star tunnels in the X-Wing.
The X-Wing, yeah.
So I love that.
Good time.
Yeah, I was big into Star Wars when I was a kid actually, really into it. Like, so little Luke would have been all, I think because I was called Luke.
Oh yeah.
When I was growing up and people used to say to me, "Oh, what's your name?" I used to say, "Oh, Luke," and they used to say, "What, like Luke Skywalker?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah, like Luke Skywalker."
Funny Fenton gets Han Solo because all Pamela Anderson.
Hey. Oh, Sean, you are flying it down, man.
I don't even have these written down or anything. I just I know.
Love it.
What was on that tea?
I think that the only game that I came close to, like that I played a while lot, and it was out that year as well, was Lemmings.
Lemmings.
Do you remember Lemmings?
And you remember like ones that block something, and then they'd fall off this bit, and I remember that game.
Yeah, that was cool. So I had spent a lot of time on that, and Sonic the Hedgehog as well, of course.
Sonic, class.
So that came out that year as well.
Yeah,
1991.
Oh,
very good. It was the big competition, wasn't it, between Mario and
Sonic.
It's like the Blur versus Oasis.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I was a Sonic guy. Yeah, and then you used to go around your mate's house and stuff, and they had like Super Nintendos, and you're just getting beat right, left, and centre. I was pressing the wrong buttons, because you're used to the buttons in your own console and stuff, and used to annoy me. That's probably why.
It's still going on, isn't it, with PlayStation and Xbox and Atari and Amiga and
they're still firing them out.
There are always these console wars going on,
Yeah. What about music? Music's going to be a big one here.
Good year
1991.
Good year for music.
Because we all sort of had a wee peek, and we were messaging each other, going, "Holy shit, the music in 1991!"
Well, I'm going to start. I always start with the top 5 songs / albums. It's different every week depending on what way my brain does it. But I've got the top 5 songs from that year here. So number 1 was a lovely wee love ballad. Everything I Do for You by Bryan Adams.
15 weeks at number 1.
Was that
right?
There
you go.
Yeah.
Was that from
Robin Hood?
Robin Hood,
exactly.
So that broke the record. I don't know if we still hold the record. I'm not sure, but I remember 15 weeks at number 1.
There you go. Number 2, which is taking a very different turn now. It's called "I Wanna Sex You Up" by Calling Me Bad.
I wanna sex you up.
And then the next one, kind of in the same vein, "Gonna Make You Sweat" by CC Music Factory.
Was that not the same song?
But I think "Gonna Make You Sweat" like a misleading title, because the main theme of that song was something else. What was the other? Do you know that song?
See, I'm thinking a girl. And
there was like something in brackets, and it's like that's what they keep saying in the song, and it's like, I don't know why I didn't write that down. I took a very, very quick notes at the start. They'll come back, somebody listening, they'll be like, it's such and such a song. You know what I mean? And then you had "Rush Rush" by Paula Abdul, was number 4. And then this one I've never heard of, "One More Try" by Tommy T.
Timmy T.
Anything? Anybody? No.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
But albums that year were absolutely class. Nevermind by Nirvana.
Brilliant.
Achtung Baby by U2. My Bloody Valentine, Loveless. Blue Lines, Massive Attack. 10, Pearl Jam. Out of Time by R.E.M. Blood Sugar Sex Magic by the Chili's. You had some good hip hop albums if you're on that kind of thing. Tribe Called Quest. Ice Cube, a good album out that year. Smashing Pumpkins, Dinosaur Jr. Van Morrison came out with the album that year too.
Tupac as well. Tupac,
yeah. Was it Tupacalypse or was it? Yeah, that's right.
And then
De La Soul had an album out that year too.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was called, but
Metallica, the Black album.
Metallica, self-titled sort of album. That's right.
Black album, Enter Sandman, and all them on that. Phenomenal. Use Illusions 1 and 2 came out as well. Guns N' Roses.
That's right. Don't Cry was a big song in 1991.
Insane year for music. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just the first few I saw. I was like, write that down. But unbelievable year for music.
And another one that's up there with all those classics, Jason Donovan, Any Dream Will Do.
Hey,
of course.
Yeah.
Let's sing out my sleep.
By J-Dog. Yeah. Quite a big star then. He was just coming off the back of being Scott and Neighbours.
Bloody Neighbours, mate.
Neighbours, mate.
Bloody hell, mate.
Him and Kylie.
Scott and Charlene.
Slapping the beige.
Yeah. Wonder how they're getting on now. I wonder if they're still together.
I know. Yeah, well, maybe.
I must
I think they moved to Derry. Derry's hottest couple right there.
We'll get Jason Donovan on the podcast next time. We'll chat to him about his love life.
We'll give him a wee shout. What about because I know you has been a brilliant musician as well, Luke, and was music a thing for you then at 9? Like, was there music in your family or anything, or instruments?
Nothing. No music, no nothing. It was only like when I started playing guitar when I was about 17, and then life kind of switched on. Do you know what I mean? Other than that, I had my head up my ass. Really. You know what I mean? But what was I into when I was 9? I remember we used to every week there was a newspaper. I put this down because I seen that it brought out this year, and every week in the newspaper they put out these magic eye things. Have you ever seen that?
Like an illusion,
the optical illusion thing. So they was released in 1991, and I can remember as a kid I was so into these.
Same.
Things. Yeah. And then they used to come in the paper every Sunday, and I'd wait for every Sunday, and I'd like sit and stare at this thing, and I was like, oh my god, it's a pirate ship.
Dad used to get really good at it, and you can get it right away then.
Yeah, bing. You know, and I thought they were brilliant. So rather than doing anything musical or creative or like valuable to my life, circus, whatever, it was like magic eyes and wrestling figures, and Pogs were out at that time.
Pogs.
I completely forgot about Pogs.
Yeah, that was 1991 that they came out, was Pogs, and they were, it was crazies. A lot of crazies happened in 1991. I mean, where it was just like everyone just got mad into something straight away. You know, what else was
the was Pogs again? Sorry,
they were like wee coins, disc things.
Yeah, and then you would bang them off the table.
You had a slammer.
You'd have a slammer.
A wee slammer. You had it was either metal or like very hard plastic, and you had to like.
And they'd flip, wouldn't they? And if you flipped, then you got to keep these other Pogs, and you could collect them. And everyone was mad at them at our school. And then the yo-yo phase.
Oh wow!
Yo.
Was that around the time that like Coca-Cola
and Sprite and Fanta?
That's right. Do you have one of them? Did I?
I don't have one now, but we did back then. The one that everybody wanted was the gold spinner.
The gold
Coke one, wasn't it?
I always remember the worst thing about it is you got them confiscated in school, and then they said you come back and get it at the end of the day. You could have a fucking mint yo-yo, and you come back and obviously some fucker would have took your yo-yo because they just had all the yo-yos.
You walk onto the classroom to get it, and the teacher's doing like walk the dog and all. You know? Give me at you.
Round the world.
Or that wee one where you made a wee triangle and like it went through. What was that called? It was like
Rock the Baby.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then remember they actually had guys going around the schools and doing magic or not magic tricks, doing yo-yo shows.
Yo-yo chicks.
Yeah, and that's what I do now for a job. Like,
it's all gone full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
Does yo-yo come into your...
Well, Diablo's very like yo-yos.
Diablo,
I've got a yo-yo. Brent's big into yo-yos.
What would you...
within the circus.
Shout out to Brent.
Big shout out to Brent.
Yo-yos.
Yo-yo, Brent. Yo-yo.
Big Brent.
They were such a class thing, and it was a thing that you had to have. How did you get them? Did you send away for them?
You could buy them, but sometimes you used to collect. I think you used to collect Coke labels, and you got so many, and you could like send away or trade them in. For like they used to do that. Remember they used to do that with like Walkers, crisps. You collected so many, and your school got computers. Do you remember that was a thing?
Right there.
And your teacher would be like, bring all your Walkers school.
You used to get Pogs and Walkers. Pogs.
They
Used to
were the
open
Tazos.
or the Tazos. That's
'cause
right.
It was
Yeah,
the
that's what it was.
Tasmanian.
Yeah,
Tasmania. That was 1991 as well. Tasmania.
And they clipped together.
Yeah.
But
And
what?
then the Star Wars one as well.
Yeah.
They did the Star Wars set of Tazos.
But you used to get what was Pogs was on something. You did
I
get
don't know
Pogs.
whether they were in. I thought you just bought them as a pack, and then you win them if you play your friend, then you'd win.
That's how you got more.
That's how you got more. Yeah.
And then they had my older brother had a Pog maker.
Right.
He got like a Pog maker. So we used to
Make your own Pogs?
Yeah, so you
Is
just
that even legal?
I don't know.
Is that like an illegal
It's like printing money.
We might have to cut that bit out. I don't know.
Currency. Yeah.
No, I swear to God. So you would like
Is he still making them?
Get boys in bar.
Hello, FBI.
Yeah.
it's just like a wee machine, and you would just like cut things out of a magazine and just like Pamela Anderson or something, and you would just put it on the wee Pog, like a wee sticky empty Pog.
Put me down for 5.
Yeah.
No bother. You hear that, George?
Pampogs.
Pogs. There we go.
I remember the Pogs phase, but I don't remember having any.
No, I don't think they were a big part of my life either, but I was always aware of them. I just thought they were wee things. Even when you were saying about like throwing them and bouncing them and flipping them, that's all news to me. I thought you just literally had them and that was it.
Pogs and boglins. I remember there was
Boglins, yeah.
as well. There was these little like I don't know what were they, like goblin
Squishy,
wee squishy things, and they were massive. You get big hand puppet boglins.
That's right. Yeah.
Because as a 9-year-old in 1991, that's where my head was at. It was just all the toys and
When
games.
toys were
highest
fucking
9-year-old.
class.
Brilliant, yeah.
Toys were amazing.
Because it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yeah, it was
Turtles as well. They were.
Yeah.
That was 1990. Was it that they? Got
87 was the cartoon, and then it sort of came
the
after
action
that.
figures came out later on though.
But by 91, like as you're saying, I remember 1990 was my 5th birthday, and I was getting like the original
the
line
original ninjas
for my birthday, like, and it was.
I had a
it was the
Ninja
greatest
Turtle
toys.
tracksuit. I don't even know if it was a shell suit. It might have even been a shell suit.
Of course, it was a shell suit.
Yeah, early
Was it
90s.
turtles?
And and it was a Ninja Turtle tracksuit, and I had a Ninja Turtle Scootex. It was called. It was like a scooter basically, but it was like a BMX kind of style scooter, and I thought it was cool as fuck. Like,
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm sure you were. Sounds
Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power.
Heroes in a half shell suit.
Shell suits are such a big thing then.
Yeah.
And then they were found out to be extremely flammable.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. When I started smoking at 14, that's when I stopped wearing them.
Those wee games, Pogs and all, I don't remember having them because we used to play Conkers.
Oh, aye. Conkers.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper.
That's a cheaper version. All you need is string, don't you? All you need is
You
And
would,
then
you would like varnish them and keep them in the hot press and stuff like that there.
See, I thought that was cheating.
No, you have to reinforce your conquer. You can step right onto the big bad world. Yeah, we soft conquer. You'll soon get found out. Let me tell you.
No, remember people used to cover them in varnish.
That's what I mean. Varnish and leave them in the hot press, and they get all hard and shiny and crack. You hear a crack a mile away.
We used to cover them in Tipex. We thought that would give it extra strength. Did it fuck? I think it made it worse.
You'd have a golden nugget, wouldn't you? If a conquer beat 50 matches, it would become a golden nugget.
That's right. It was like untouchable.
Yeah.
It was like being made a made guy in the Italian mafia. Like, nobody can touch this fucking conquer now. It's all good.
So it just gets to live out its life
It's just peace. Yep.
In the hot press.
in the hot press, breeding other conkers.
Yeah, and then board games. What was the? I remember there was Atmosphere or
my God.
Nightmare. They call it either Nightmare or Atmosphere, and it was
Atmosphere.
a VHS board game.
Oh,
remember
very
that?
snazzy.
That was good.
So you had to like take instruction from the video, or that's
Video,
sort of
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened
So
next?
you put the video in, and then you would play the game. But the way the game, it would be different every time.
Unfold
But the video-
through.
and it would be the gatekeeper would come on, and he would
Brilliant.
say, whose turn is it next? And you'd have to answer him. It's like, it's mine, gatekeeper. And, or shout at you, answer me. And I can remember playing it with my wee cousin. And he was like, yes, gatekeeper. Yes, gatekeeper. Bricking
Didn't he
himself.
he always gave someone like a nickname too. It was the funniest
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, it was.
What sort of nicknames did he get?
I can't remember specifically, but I'll tell you what, I have it in the fucking house. We gotta play it. Nobody ever wants to play board games. I've got loads. I'm like, do you want to play a board game? Like,
Oh, I love a good board game too.
Let's
I
do
love
it.
a good board
Have
game.
you got a VHS player as well? Then?
we had the VHS one, but I currently have a DVD one.
Updated
But
one.
fuck it, still.
We should
it'd
do that
still be
someday
fun.
if we ever do. Or we're talking about doing a podcast soon, like hanging back after they have a wee drink. We'll play
That's
some fucking
that's
board
what we're
games.
doing.
Yeah,
Atmosphere.
100%.
Yep.
Over for that, look.
And then we'll all fall out with each other because we're going, no, it's fucking my turn there.
No,
Like,
we're going to fall
flip
out with
the
the
table.
gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper doesn't say for you to go.
Gatekeeper called me a wanker.
And it just cut through the end of the night. Sean's just smashing the TV. Fuck off, gatekeeper.
Or I'm snogging him.
So yeah, I remember that. I remember the toys. I remember the games, and then I remember a book that I had when I was 9 was the Guinness Book of Records.
Of course.
1991, and I was mad about the Guinness. So I downloaded it before I came in, or I got it on ebook and screenshotted some of the records.
Oh, cool.
From that year. Nice one.
From 1991.
How many of them have you tried to break, son?
I know. Well, I've seen them and I thought I could do that.
I mean, right up your street.
You know, they're all in different categories. You know, so you got the living world or tallest structures, and then you've got like the human ones. So it's I thought you might be interested in this one, Finton. The giants, tallest teenager in Claudia.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Yeah. Finton Harvey.
Yes.
But yeah, the world's tallest man. Do you know who the world's tallest man was?
I can't remember his name, but I can picture him. He wore glasses, really tall.
He did wear glasses.
He's
Yeah,
really tall.
Really tall, really?
Yeah. What was his name
He
again?
was about eye level to where you're at. Robert Waldo.
Robert Waldo. I remember seeing a photo of
Waldo.
him beside Andre the Giant. And he made Andre the Giant look like a fucking toddler
He
beside
made
him.
Andre the
like.
Giant just look like Andre.
Just
Andre the midget.
Just Andre. Just,
And
That's me mocker Andre.
where's Waldo now?
But he got to 8'11".
Jesus. That's
Wow.
insane. It's about the size of this room. That's, in fact, he probably wouldn't even have fit it in here.
No, he wasn't. No way.
He had 8 feet.
On top of each other.
That's how he was so tall. So yeah, that was your man, and then you got, let's see, whatever, the heaviest man, 1,400 pounds.
Ooh.
A guy called John Brower Minnock.
Big
That's a
JB.
lot, too.
That was a lot of money back then.
Longest necks.
Longest neck.
Yeah.
Fucking
What,
neck of him, hey?
Yeah.
yeah. What do you think the longest neck was?
A foot.
50.
No, a neck, not a foot. Got to say 18 inches.
15 and a half inches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's a fucking
Wind your
giraffe.
neck in. That's.
Wind-
Was the brassest neck in there? The boy with the biggest brass neck? Probably Finton.
Probably.
But these were the best. The miscellaneous endeavours. Now these are the ones who kind of go.
Sounds
like,
tasty.
Right, I want to get into the Guinness Book of
Yeah.
Records. I'm going to do something mad. So let's have a look. Accordion player. The longest stint playing accordion was 85 hours.
Jesus.
Had to be an Irishman in the pub.
You know, and can you imagine like being an adjudicator? of that?
I know.
I know, for 85
How's it going?
hours.
Yeah, it's still going.
One note just.
I've just about lost the ball they love. I'd say it's going rightly.
Let's see.
I was in living beside him.
Coin balancing, egg dropping.
So how many eggs you can drop?
Yeah, well, the highest egg. What's it? Egg and spoon racing. So some boy ran 30 miles with an egg on a spoon.
Jesus.
You know.
See, they're the kind
Imagine you
of
did
things
like 29 miles and then you drop the egg. You'd be, oh, for fuck. The whole thing just pointless.
Yeah. So that's what I was
yourself
into when
a
I was a
omelette.
kid. I used to read this and I used to think, I'm going to get myself.
Oh, I always loved the Guinness Book of Records
I'm
too.
going to get myself in there. Longest duration for someone ironing.
Jeepers.
What do you think that is?
Was it me, ma?
Still
I
at
don't
it.
know. I'm going to say like probably more than the accordion thing. I'm going to guess maybe. I'm going to say 95 hours.
Oh,
100,
Higher.
110.
300.
No, it's 130 hours.
that's what I was going to say.
Who the fuck was that? Snow White?
We've got
Somebody in prison.
We've got one here. The longest kiss. What do you think the longest kiss is?
Let me try and remember.
It was you and the gatekeeper.
I kissing his ass.
I mean, kiss. I'm going to say like it can't be. I'm going to say like 48 hours.
Higher.
Jesus.
What?
Let's give
Non-stop. How'd they eat?
Non-stop.
How'd they shite?
72.
Seriously, like
72
What's
hours.
kissing?
Higher.
Fucking hell.
This is days.
So Sean's right. They had to do things like have a shit. So like
Yeah.
one of them was squatting over the toilet while the other was still fucking
Aye.
stalking them. Like,
You need to
How
like see things.
romantic. How romantic.
Sarka.
How did they fucking eat?
Well, this is it.
You can't live on tongue.
Eddie Charles faces.
17 days.
Man cannot live on tongue
17
alone.
days.
17
Shut up.
days and 10.5 hours.
They must have had no mouths left at the end of that.
That's
No,
They
they
must
all
have like
fucking chapped all.
slept and people pushed their heads together to make sure they didn't stop kissing.
And then this one boy kissed 4,525 women in 8 hours.
Hey, I told you not to say
Brandon.
anything about that. For God's sake.
Brandon,
Freddie.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to cut that bit out there, Marion. Will.
So yeah,
She's going to know it's bullshit.
so that was I was mad on this when I was a kid. The longest spit. Do you want to know what the longest spit
I'd
was?
love to know.
The longest in terms of
The
how
longest
far it went.
How far it went.
Right.
A wad of tobacco. How far do you think you could spit a wad of tobacco?
Mile.
Are we talking like off a bridge or just
No, flat
straight
ground.
out? I'm going to say like
10 meters.
10. Jesus, that's
Well, it's in foot. It's in foot.
Say about 60 foot,
A little bit lower.
I'm going to say, I was going to say like
56 and a half.
47. 47. Now
So
that was
that's
tobacco,
insane.
but then with what was it? A melon.
What about a big greenhorn?
Yeah, a melon pit.
Or a gornhorn.
A watermelon seed.
That's a white one.
the watermelon seed.
Spitting a watermelon seed?
Yeah.
That wouldn't go as far, I
No,
wouldn't
it went
think.
further.
No way.
What?
70 foot.
Oh,
What?
I'm going to have to start practicing this crap.
Yes, there's practicing my spitting. I thought I was a good spitter.
Holy crap.
So yeah, that's why I was
You
mad
just
into
swallow,
when I was a
Brendan.
kid. As a 9-year-old, I was like, I'm going to get myself in there one day.
I'm sure you could spit a watermelon seed further than that. You really put your mind to it.
We'll all be trying it.
The best thing to do is stand at the back of a plane as it's about to take off and spit under the jet stream.
So yeah.
So that's the Guinness World Records of 1991.
Yeah.
It's actually a record on itself. It's the most stolen book from libraries in the world.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's in the reference section. You're not actually allowed to take it out because it's in the reference. I've seen this in the Chase recently. It's in the reference section, so you're supposed to look at it on there, but you're not allowed to check it out because people might need to reference it. So people used to always steal it.
Wow. So people just fucking nicked
Yeah.
it.
There you go.
Record in itself.
Exactly.
I know they're in all the charity shops.
It's not
Every
really
charity
a
shop.
big thing anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know, a song that was out that year as well? James, Sit Down.
Oh, yeah.
Sit down, no sit down. Class. James are a great band.
Great band there, Manchester band too, aren't they?
Are they?
I think they
I
are. I
think
think
they
they are. Yep.
You spent some time in Manchester, Brendy.
A year just, and I was actually living in Crewe. Pretty shit. Crewe's a bit of a shithole, to be honest. I loved being over. I was at Manchester Met Uni, but I was in what's called the Cheshire campus, so I was out in Crewe. But I was making my way into Manchester every weekend, or Liverpool, or Leeds, or London even. Do you know what I mean? I had mates all over, so it was just a great year. Not a while lot learnt. Certainly not in class anyway. Learned a lot about life and what not to do.
University of Life.
But no, I love Manchester. I've been over quite a few times since. A lot of my mates would have stayed on. Loved the Manchester for like 10 years plus after going over when they're 18. Do you know what I mean? It's a great city. Love it.
Yeah, no,
Good
it
people.
was class. Like, it was a bit of a culture shock because I moved to Claudia at first.
That's right,
where
yeah.
I went to. So I went from Greater Manchester. I was like in this big party scene. I was, like,
To Claudia.
living like it. And then I moved to Claudia.
You weren't
I was
even
like,
in the village.
I know, yeah. I was out in the sticks in Claudia as well, and I was like, "Oh my word, what have I done?" I remember, I was solid as a rock as well. We had like big parties and everything before we were leaving. It's like, "See you later." I was like, "Yeah, I'll see you all the time. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine." And then, we packed up all our stuff, packed down the house, and like I moved over with a partner I was with at the time, and she was all crying and it was all a bit emotional. I was like, "It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool." And we got over here, and then my mum and dad drove us over, and then they drove us over in the van, and we unloaded all the van, and then they stayed over the night. And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll see you all. I'll speak to you all the time. Don't worry." As soon as they got in that car, and as soon as they drove away and over the hill, I went, "Oh!" I was like, but I started the tech then straight away. I started the tech, I think it was like the next, about 3 days after I'd moved over here, I started the tech course in applied sciences, and then I went on to the degree. And then while I was in the degree, that's when I got a job in the circus. And then I was like, so this is
Nice one.
brilliant. Do you know what I mean? But then, and every year, like at first, I really missed Manchester. I really missed that big party.
Yeah.
And the whole, like the big city and all the rest of it. And then I'd go back there and I'd go, "Oh, I'm missing out over here." And then I come back and I was actually like, I like it over here. And then to go back to Manchester then became more of a hassle. And now if I go into Manchester, I'm like, "Oh
This is too big.
this
Too
is
many people
big,
about
too many
that.
people. It's just like, whoa, it's overwhelming.
It's mad how you acclimatise to a place isn't it?
Yeah, and now I love it over here. Like, this is a beautiful city, beautiful place, beautiful people, you know.
Go Derry.
Big up, Derry. Woo.
So,
Hey, another song that was re-released in that year was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Re-released.
Galileo.
yeah.
Because Freddie
Oh,
Mercury
yeah.
had passed
Oh,
away
dear.
from
Right.
HIV virus.
Wow. Right.
He had he had announced to the world, like, I think it was only the day before he died.
Yeah, that
And then they released Bohemian Rhapsody then. And
Announced what? That he was dying?
That he was
basically?
dying.
God.
Yeah.
And it was the next step. Within 24 hours.
So 24 hours passed away, and then they released Bohemian Rhapsody again, and the proceeds went to a charity.
Right.
Good stuff. What a guy, too, Freddie. Arguably the best frontman performer of all time. Like, live
100%
performer.
definitely
You know what I mean?
up there. Like it's
Amazing.
hard to have that conversation without Freddie
Oh,
being.
100%. And that fucking voice, too. Unbelievable.
Yeah, what a front man. Hey.
Yep.
And then, because that was such a big thing, of course, in the early 90s was the HIV virus, and Magic Johnson as well, basketball player for LA Lakers. But he's still alive now, still going strong,
Right.
which is great.
Brilliant.
You go. Fair play to him.
Yeah. Other things in that year, the first Women's World Cup final took place. USA beat Norway 2-1.
USA. USA. That's about as much as you'll get out of as much reaction you'll get from that.
There
There.
was so much enthusiasm there. Too.
Norway don't have a chant. Always would have chanted for them. Norway.
Norway.
Norway had no way.
Norway.
No way, no way.
Do you know a movie came out that year, and you're going to go on the movies now, Sean?
Are you going to steal my thunder?
I'm just you're
Oh,
you're
no,
taking
go
the
for it.
jokes, so I'll take the movies.
Don't take jokes off a comedian. He'll come back at you.
Do you want to swap seats?
I'm not sure if you have it on your list of commitments.
Oh, what a phone.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant.
Oh yeah, it is here. Let me just write it down again.
One of our very own.
Oh my
Roy
god.
Sally Boyd.
Brona Gallagher.
One of our very own, Brona
Royd,
Gallagher.
Sally
that's
Boyd.
right. We
Royd, silly Royd. That's
Royd's. It's not Royd, it's Royd.
Glenn Hansard.
Glenn
as well.
Hansard was on it too.
Hansard.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Great show, great book, great book, and a great film.
Because in that year as well, the last of that trilogy came out, The Van.
That's right.
The Barrytown trilogy.
Yep.
Oh.
So that was the first grown-up book that I read.
Was Paddy Clark Ha 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 part of that too?
It
or was
wasn't
that
part of the
no?
trilogy, no.
Right,
But I
right.
think it was set in the same
Same
fictional
sort of
place.
crack.
Yeah. But that was the
Great book
first
too.
adult book that I wrote or read was The Van.
Brilliant.
And it took me about, I don't know, I was just reading with like my finger under the words, you know. And it
I
took
think
me
you
about a
actually
year.
lent
We
me
have
that
this-
book when we were working at Duns. I'm
I
pretty
could
sure
have
you
done.
did.
Never got it back, you know.
No, you did not. No, and you won't either. I'll give that back to you when Sean gives you back dog day afternoon.
I was about to. That's what I was waiting for.
I had actually, did I say that before? We'd meeting Brona Gallagher on the bus.
Well, I think you've told me. I'm not sure if you said it on the podcast. I think
Not
you
sure,
told
say
me
it
the
again.
story.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I was on my way to Dublin. Me and Connor D were going down to see Mumford and Sons, and I had lifted a book just off the bookcase. It was like just something handy to read on the way down. There was tons of books, like, and I lifted the commitments, and we got to Monaghan, you know, where the bus stops in Monaghan.
Yeah.
And so I was reading it, and then the person stood up in front of me to go to the bathroom and looked around. It was fucking Brona Gallagher. I was just so mad. I was looking at the book and looking
You're
at her, going,
Did you cover it?
I was
Or
like-
were you all?
No, I'd be all, look what I'm reading.
"Did you mean to cover it by Pamela Anderson?" No, I was like, I was sort of looking at the book and then looking at her, and then I was like, excuse me, Brona, I'm reading that book. And she was so amazed too. She was like, oh my God, I haven't read that book since I got on the bus from Derry to Dublin to go down and do the audition.
Was she reading Mickey Dog?
She was reading my book. She should have been in it.
She was
She's
listening to
reading-
mind the time.
She was reading Goosebumps.
Aye, you could do worse.
But
Love
we want
Goosebumps.
Bruna on the podcast.
We do. We'd love to have Bruna
Yeah,
on.
so
So
Bruna-
if you ever hear this, Bruna, we'd love to have you on. On ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
we'd love to have you on. It'd be great. What about any other movies, Shawnee boy?
Oh, dear.
See it? You've got about 5
That-
pages of movies here.
I know it. Like I could have filled about 6 pages. But we'll go through them quick. We'll do
we
some of the
actually-
big
We are
ones.
coming in. Sean has to
I
really
know.
work straight after this. So.
We've got Hook.
Great show.
Ooh.
Oh, it's one of my favorite films ever. Love it.
Robin
Very good.
Williams.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. We've got Terminator 2.
Absolutely.
T2.
Terminator.
What a movie.
Oh,
Absolutely.
one of the greatest.
The graphics. The graphics.
Oh.
The graphics. Do you
He's
remember the
melting
computer
and coming
game?
back to life.
Then I just remember the computer game of T2.
There was
No.
a few. Which one?
I don't know. I remember playing at my cousin's house. They had like a Commodore 64 or something
Oh,
like.
yeah.
And I still, when I see a lorry in my rear view mirror when I'm driving, I think of that scene With
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
yeah, he'd put the foot down, drive into sewage place.
Chasing down Edward Furlong on the scrambler.
Yeah.
We Eddie.
Yeah. We have, I'm just going to mention this one because I'm a big Steve Martin fan. LA Story.
Never seen it.
No.
Love
No.
Steve Martin too. Never seen that.
No, never seen
Yeah.
it either.
It's where he talks to there's like, what do you call it? Them road signs. And he ends up going to it for advice and it kind of talks back to him.
Right.
But he had written this film. It's brilliant. I'll just stop
Must check it
talking
out.
about now 'cause,
No,
everybody's like,
I-
I'm
Oh,
sure
that's
it's
good.
better than the synopsis.
but it's also the year Follow the Bride, Steve Martin.
Great
as well,
movie,
like,
yeah.
So we've got Cape Fear, the remake
De Niro.
with De Niro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty terrifying.
Um,
Good show.
Oh, we had My Girl.
My girl. Talking about my girl.
I still have a wee cry when I
Was
think about
that
that.
Macaulay Culkin as well? Because
Yeah.
he just done Home Alone. Home Alone was 1990, was it?
So yeah,
Because I remember I saw that at the cinema Christmas Eve. We went to see Home Alone, and that was 1990. And then obviously
Yeah.
leading into 1991, he must have done My Girl.
Straight
That's
after.
You can't see without his glasses.
because I think Home Alone 2 was 92, so it was just they must have went and done that then. We've got Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey,
Yeah.
Yo.
The Naked Gun 2.5,
Oh.
Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Brilliant.
either, actually.
Great show.
A big one because we were talking about Rick Mail. Drop Dead
Oh,
Fred.
Drop Dead Fred. yeah.
Drop Dead
Yeah,
Fred,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Fucking brilliant.
Brilliant film.
Geez, so funny. It still holds up.
Yeah. Very original concept as well.
The Fisher King.
Oh, what was that again?
It's Robin Williams and Jeff Bridges.
He's like homeless, living under like a. Fuck me,
Oh,
mad film. It's a mad
it's-
film there.
That's
I forgot that
heart wrenching
existed.
stuff.
That was
Like
class.
it's absolutely brilliant.
Any of these movies bringing you back to a time, Luke?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got most of these on my list as well, of the ones that I'd looked at.
Fisher King, that's a good one there. Forgot that existed.
Nothing but trouble. City Slickers
City Slickers.
Billy
brilliant.
Crystal.
Yeah.
and Jack Palance. Sleeping with the Enemy. Julia Roberts.
I'm aware of it. I don't think
Is
I've
that
ever
the one
actually seen
where
it.
he offers a £1 million to sleep with his wife?
Not
No,
Indecent Proposal.
Indecent.
Sleeping with the
yeah.
Enemy is like she's in an abusive relationship and she fakes her death and to get away from him. And then she goes and starts living this other
New
life, and
life.
he discovers, he's like, oh, he's sort of discovered. Well, I'm probably giving the film away now. Like.
Do you know
Oh,
what?
if you haven't seen it by now, take your oil.
That's only the first 5 minutes. JFK,
Yeah.
Great show.
That's right.
Naked Lunch
Naked Lunch.
Don't remember
what
that.
it sounds like.
with
Just,
Peter Weller. It's a what do you call him? David Cronenberg film.
right?
Don't
brilliant.
remember it.
Absolutely brilliant. Definitely recommend it. Don't tell mom the babysitter's
Yeah,
dead.
I've got that one down here. That was a brilliant film.
That's class.
That's absolutely fantastic.
Because that came off. That's Christina Applegate, and that came off the success of Married with Children.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
She was
That's
quite,
right,
She was
she
quite
was in-
prominent, like at that sort of time.
Yeah.
She's class. She's still class.
The Doors with Val Kilmer.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
That's a brilliant film as well.
He was so good on it too, Val Kilmer.
Apparently, they actually at the time they had. I read this recently. They had played back all our surviving members of the Doors. They played back the recordings of him singing, and they couldn't tell
Couldn't
the
tell the
difference
part.
between Jim Morrison and Val Kilmer
Holy
singing.
shit.
Do you know what I mean?
He was so good.
So good at it.
Brilliant. Really good.
I'll just do a couple quick. Boys in the Hood.
Class. What a film.
The
Word.
first Adams Family.
Yeah.
Yep. Do-do-do-do.
Problem Child 2.
Problem Child 2. Yeah, I went to see that
Yeah.
for my birthday. I think that would have been 10. From a 9 to 10th birthday, we went to see Problem
So
Child 2
good.
at the birthday for my party.
And
Were they trying to tell you something, Luke?
on the same page as sequels, Ninja Turtles 2.
Yes.
Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the Ooze, yeah.
Oh, we had ooze.
The Ooze.
Gunge and ooze.
Gunge and Ooze. FX2. Do you remember that with the
FX2, yeah.
the Australian
FX
actor,
man,
Brian
yeah,
Brown?
Yeah.
They were good.
They were good.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the
Oh,
Lambs,
very
yeah.
nice.
What a
Good
year
film.
for movies.
Yeah,
What a year for
A
movies.
great song in that film too, wasn't it? Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus was in that film.
Was
if I'm
it?
not mistaken. Great tune. Anyway. Could be making that up too. I make a lot of stuff up in this podcast and I never have to back any of it up, so it's great. Happy days.
Another Denzel. Always have to get a Denzel in.
Big Denzel. Is it John Q?
Ricochet.
Is it Ricochet, is it?
With John Lithgow as well. Brilliant.
Is that about an Irishman?
Big Luthers. Ricochet. John O'Shea's
like
big
a-
brother.
It's like a revenge thriller.
Sounds like it.
Very good.
Did you get
Hot shots.
Hot Shots?
Yeah.
Is that what you were going for?
Yes.
Part 2 or just
There's
Hot
more
Shots?
there,
the
but there's
original.
there's too many.
Point Break.
Point Break as well.
secrets.
Ah,
Was in,
nice.
one that I remember watching when I was younger, Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Did you ever see that film?
No,
That was a
don't
good
think I've seen
film.
that one.
It was about two biker gangs. It was like new school biker and an old school biker, and
Right.
then they went together to stop this drug cartel.
It's ringing a vague bell. It's ringing a vague bell, actually, but I can't. The
It was
title
a
rang a
really,
bell.
really
but
cool film.
No, I didn't see it. It was
this
very young.
guy was selling all these drugs, and it was called Crystal Dream. And he would say like, "Crystal Dream, rub it in your eyes, and it'll tell you lies." I just remember this. I used to think that was so cool when I was a kid.
I'll check it out.
So that's all. That's
Suburban
all.
Commando as well.
Ah, Suburban Commando, Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
There was a lot of those kind of like, you know, what do you call it? All right,
Crossover.
Dawn. I can't remember. Double Dragon or something. Dawn.
Right,
What do
yeah.
you call him?
Was there-
Dawn.
was there
We'll just
wrestling?
call him Don.
We're just
Big
it's just
Dawn.
Dawn now.
Big Dee Dee.
because, but there was a lot of those kind of like Hulk Hogan making appearances in like Three Ninjas and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
Hanging in a Mega Mountain. That was
Yeah.
one of my favourite films as well. That was a lot later.
They all seem to ooze under those films.
Yeah, what a year for music and movies.
Yeah.
It's about a year all round.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. So I think we've covered as much as we can here at the moment for 1991.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add there, Luke? Any other memories that jump out?
No, I mean, I suppose it would. I remember the haircut that I had in 1991 was curtains and a wee undercut.
Oh, the
Oh, the
curtain
classic
and
90s.
Classic 90s,
Yeah.
but then on the undercut I had Luke shaved in the back of my head, and I thought I was so cool in my wee Ninja Turtle shell suit. And my name shaved in the back of my head.
That does
was,
sound cool.
That was the wee 90s, 1991 Luke.
That was my 9-year-old 1991
Yeah,
Luke. With his shell suit and his look at
With his pogs and his Guinness Book of Records under his arm and a magic eye under the other.
Spitting watermelon seeds across Manchester.
Class, so we're going to leave it at that, guys. Luke, thank you very much. It was an absolute
been delicious.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Well done, boys.
And thank you, Brendan and Sean.
Hey, no bar.
No bother at all.
Anytime, big fella. And thank you, Fenton.
No problem.
No sweat.
Again, Luke, thank you. And check us out on Facebook and Instagram and our social medias. Mind the time, tell your friends, get listening. Thank you very much, everybody, and good evening. Goodbye.
Good night.
Use the force, Liz.